Okay, U.S. History 2, we're going to be looking at the space race. The space race. Music by Billy Preston. Okay, so let's play this music by Billy Preston. And let's talk about, as the song Space Race goes off, we're going to be looking at the Soviet Union, the United States, in a space race of their own. All right, so maybe I need to turn this down a little bit. There we go. It was a little bit higher than that. Okay, so we're going to be looking at the space race. All right, it's getting kind of drowned out by that. We're looking at the Soviet Union and the United States of America. So this is in the late 1950s class, during the Cold War, of course, our unit. The United States and the Soviet Union engaged in a battle of space technology known as the space race. So some of the historical background we have with the space race is following the forced surrender of Japan brought about the atomic bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The superpowers of the United States and the Soviet Union became more concerned about the possibility of nuclear war. As a result, both nations engaged in what they called an arms race, where they competed for supremacy in quantity and quality of weapons. The USSR, Soviet Union, the US, the United States, feared the possibility of mutually assured destruction, MAD, a military doctrine which states that there is no opportunity for a peace agreement in a nuclear war. Hence, nuclear arms control treaties were continuously signed by both countries, all countries really, that anyone that possessed that type of weaponry. So here are space race facts. With arms race between the United States and the Soviet Union, both countries began to develop intercontinental ballistic missiles, or ICBMs, which were designed to reach long-range targets as far away as 3,500 miles. The arms race also led other nations, including Great Britain, France, and the People's Republic of China, to build and stockpile their own nuclear weapons. In the mid 1950s until the early 1960s, tensions between the Soviet Union and the United States continued with the space race, construction of the Berlin Wall, and the crises in Cuba, Korea, and Vietnam. So here we have Sputnik, an American Apollo. On October 4th, 1957, the USSR's Sputnik, Russian for traveler, became the first artificial man-made satellite to reach the orbit of the Earth. Sputnik's launch was a shock for most Americans. It was unexpected, thus exposing the new frontier of exploration. Such activity threatened the United States with possible nuclear warhead and intelligence information gathering from space. In response, the United States Army launched Explorer 1, an American satellite, in 1958. For further space exploration, President Dwight Eisenhower created NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. Moreover, President Eisenhower established two security-oriented space programs under the United States Air Force and the CIA. In 1959, the Soviets launched Luna 2, which targeted the moon. 2 years later, cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin set a record by being the first man to orbit the Earth. More space race facts. Space race! The Americans responded through the Project Mercury, which sent chimpanzees into space in a capsule-shaped craft. On May 5th, 1961, Alan Shepard became the first American in space. On May 25th, 1961, at the height of the Cold War, United States President John F. Kennedy declared a national goal of sending a man to the moon at the Congress joint session. Kennedy's decision was because of Soviet success in sending cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin into space, April 1961. He specifically wanted to catch up and overtake the Soviet Union in what we know today as the space race. Yep, space race. Several NASA projects like Mercury, Gemini, and Apollo were developed to realize Kennedy's vision. By September 12, 1962, JFK delivered his famous quote, "We choose to go to the moon," in front of a large crowd at Rice Stadium, Houston, Texas. JFK specifically tasked Vice President Lyndon B. Johnson to oversee the project of the National Aeronautics and Space Council. After Kennedy's assassination on November 22, 1963, the idea of a joint moon landing was abandoned, but NASA's Apollo mission became a memorial for him. Space race facts. Apollo 11 was the fifth manned mission under the Apollo program. On July 16, 1969, three American astronauts, Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins, left the Kennedy Space Center in Houston, Florida. And then Florida to fulfill the NASA's Apollo 11 mission. I'm sorry, it starts in Houston and ends in Florida. And JFK's vision. They traveled 240,000 miles for 3 days to reach the moon's lunar orbit. Sorry about that flub. The Apollo 11 astronauts included Neil Armstrong, Michael Collins, and Buzz Aldrin. Aldrin erected the Stars and Stripes flag of the United States. Okay, then we have space race facts. The success of the Apollo 11 established the United States' national and international dominance over rival countries. It also demonstrated the economic, political, and technological virtuosity of Americans. Lastly, such achievement opened up possibilities for further aerospace exploration. Between 1969 and 1972, the Soviets failed in 4 of its moon missions. The space race was highly coveted in television. Astronauts in the United States and cosmonauts in the Soviet Union were seen as national heroes. The momentous handshake in space between American astronauts and Soviet cosmonauts in the joint Apollo-Soyuz mission in 1975 marked the gradual refinement of American-Soviet relations. So now you're just going to be looking at, okay, in the middle of the Cold War, okay, because you got 4 things you have to identify here. In the middle of the Cold War, the Soviet Union, USSR, and the United States heavily ventured into space exploration. Can you identify and describe fascinating objects in space? So you just got to come up with 4 things that are out of our in space out there. Lots of it. There's more than 4. Okay, so then we're going to be looking at an expose on Yuri Gagarin. On April 12, 1961, Soviet cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin became the first person in space using the Vostok spacecraft. Gagarin led the Soviets in its space race against the Americans. Can you write a short biographical narrative about him? You can use some of this whatever Kids Connect premium space worksheets to help you out, but just there should be something in the textbook, all right? So you don't need to, but if you want to Google it, that's fine. Then the Apollo 11 mission, okay, so this is the one that makes it to the moon. Although they have right over here, that's a space shuttle, by the way, right there. All right, I did not. That's a space shuttle that was not part of the Apollo 11 mission. I don't know what. So just not really, not yet. Anyway, so first you're going to identify the 3 astronauts on the Apollo 11. Okay, and then there's some key events that happened. Okay, historical in terms of putting a man on the moon. What happened? Obviously the last thing you can see is right there is hoisting the flag on the moon, which was done in a perfect vacuum. So like they had to. There's a certain type of flag, not like the one you would fly, on Earth. Then next, you're gonna make a space log. Okay, so the Soviet American arms race both ventured into space exploration to prove technological advancement. Complete the timeline. Okay, so you just have events 1957, 1958, 1960, 1961, 1965, 1966, and of course 1969. What happened in those years? And then, of course, JFK's kind of like a document here. There's also a YouTube clip here. So let me see if I can get markup on this one right there. Hold on. So if I get markup and I go like that, and I go Control C. Wait, hold on. There we go. Okay. So copy that. Okay. And we get a YouTube. A little YouTube here. All right. Actually, what am I doing? I like to do is just put it in the browser. Oh, my battery's running low. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, back to the lesson. All right, let's see if we can get that up. Okay, so it's going to show you this. All right. Okay, so that's what it's going to show you.